It's so hard to make friends as an adult. One of the things that's been the most successful for me is risking feeling stupid. I'm gonna tell you a story about how like one or a couple decisions to just maybe I shouldn't do this led to like one of the most fulfilling friendships in my life. So when I first moved to France, first Christmas here, everybody was gone. Like everybody goes home for like 2 weeks. Like, and if you're, an immigrant and you don't have a whole lot of friends, or even if you do, if they're French, have fun. You're gonna be all alone. So I tried to keep myself busy while all my friends were out of town. So I ended up doing a bunch of performances at this comedy club. I didn't really want to do them, but why not? So at the end of one of my shows, this woman around my age comes up to me and she was like, "That was really great." It was a comedy show in English. And I loved her energy. She seemed so cool. So I was like, I hope this isn't weird, but like, do you want to be like friends or like Facebook friends or something? And she was like, okay. Now, this is like not something that French people do. In my experience, French people kind of make friends the way US people like date. Long, slow, whereas a lot of times relationships, they just like jump right in. It's like opposite day here. So I was surprised that she took me up on my offer, but maybe she appreciated me being vulnerable like that, right? So I met up with her and we went to coffee, and after coffee she was like, "I gotta go perform. I do drums, so my show is down the road." And I was like, "Oh, would it be weird if I came and watched?" And she was like, "No, you should come." So I went to this show. I was like, wow. I was like, "That's so cool. How did you get into drums?" She's like, "Oh, I'm part of an association. It's a drum club." I'm like, "Oh, interesting." She's like, "You should join." And I'm like, "Oh, I've never played drums before in my life. I don't know anything about drums." So everyone always made fun of me because they're always like, "Oh, Melanie, you're always doing this or this." Like I've actually been playing drums on myself my whole life, but I don't know anything about music. So again, that seems like the dumbest idea to join a drum club. But I was like, okay. Y'all, I loved it. I showed up to a drum club like when it started up in January. I could barely speak French, like basically not at all. Didn't know anyone but her. Nobody spoke English, more or less. Maybe a couple people, whatever, but French people are sometimes very shy about French. I didn't expect anyone to speak English. I don't have that entitlement when I go anywhere in France. I assumed no one would be able to speak English, and I just have to figure it out, and I just hope that I could speak franglais or something. I don't know. So I learned how to play drums without understanding what on earth is happening, and it was so fun. I made lots of like cool friends. Like not super close friends, but just friends who took me to places. And some of the best parties I've ever been to were through this drum club. Like we were out like at farmhouses with food and like dancing, like stuff that is so random I never would have been invited to had I not been a part of this drum club. Like every single cool event I went to, more or less, was because of the people I met at the drum club. And then one night, the friend who I originally met, who invited me to begin with, she had a party at her house with some drum club people and other people. And she was like, "Oh, this is my friend Michael. He actually thought about doing comedy." He wasn't really thinking about doing comedy, but he had mentioned it once. So we started talking. Him and I were just like, oh my God. We became like BFFs. BFFs from the beginning. I would eat lunch at his house all the time. We hung out all the time. We went to cool stuff. We even went to the World Cup together and saw Team USA win, like the Women's World Cup. I carried this little sign around trying to educate people about why we win all the time. Money is at the root of everything. Michael also ended up playing the cello in our wedding when I met my husband long after I met Michael. They became friends. He was my husband's best man in the wedding. Like, look at all of us. We love each other. He's actually coming over tonight. He is one of the most beautiful souls I've ever met in my life. Been a part of some of the most important things I've ever been through. And was one of the original members of my husband's men's group. Michael and my husband got together, especially after reading my article from Harper's and realizing they want this. They need this. They created a men's group using this book. They didn't know what they're doing, but they just started it. This is even during the pandemic. They started it on Zoom. They've been going strong for, I don't know over like three and a half years now. My husband started another men's group because he loved that one so much. And then that men's group has actually mentored other men to help them start their own. Because believe it or not, there are a lot of men out there who desperately want to change within themselves, help other men change, help deconstruct all this crap, and are fighting for a better world, especially one that loves women, femme, trans, everybody, fighting it all, right? Oh, sorry. This is one of my most precious friendships in my life, and it all started because someone came up to me, she seemed cool, and I was like, should I do it? Should I do it? Can I have your number? Do you want to be my friend? It is so scary to do stuff like that, y'all. You feel stupid, you face rejection, but I mean, what do you have to lose? The worst they can say is no. And then, good, they did you a favor. Rejection is protection. Honestly, most of my friendships were a result of me just doing this one thing that was scary, put myself out there, or going to this one event that I didn't really want to go to, but like, why not? Got nothing better to do. So for anybody who struggles to make friends, I think all of us do, especially, coming here, new country, have a language barrier, culture barrier, like I'm thousands of miles away from everybody. Sometimes that pressure, that desperation makes you take chances. You don't have to be in another country to take those chances. You don't have to have that like desperation to fuel these really little decisions and actions that you can take that could change your life and bring amazing people into it. God, that sounds so corny. I'm telling you, it works. It works.